Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor Part 75 based on novel. So let's start. That's good. The Golden Dragon King was relieved when he heard the words. Obviously, the things he was worried about were also answered by this Xiao Yan. Although there are many treasures in the underground palace, there are also some dangers. After all, opportunities and dangers coexist. Xiao Yan also said slowly, but this is obviously for Xiao Yang. After all, Xiao Yang is now a 4-star fight. The strength of the Middle Emperor. If you want to break into this underground palace, that the Xianling royal family regards as a treasure, it is tantamount to ascending to the sky. Since the mother of the fairy body tree is located on the 6th floor of the Xianling royal family underground palace, then things are much easier to handle. The Golden Dragon King also smiled slowly, but the rare fiery in his voice was not concealed at all. Live. In any case, the mother of this fairy body tree must get it. After recovering the power of the soul at the peak, when Xiao Yang obtained a holy flame, he could start to gather his body for himself, and it would be another kind of rebirth at that time. But there is one thing I have to remind you of. The people in the Xianling royal family, for some reason, every strong person has more or less the power of flame. The power of that flame also has a very strong restraint on our Tianmu fish family. If my expectations are right, then the power of flame is stronger than the power of flame on this little brother. Xiao Yan also said. Obviously, although the transaction has been completed, there are some things that must be explained clearly, otherwise the boat capsize in the gutter is a small matter, and it is a big deal if you can't save your daughter. Oh. Hearing the words, the Golden Dragon King's eyes became contemplative. Obviously, he was quite clear about the power of flames on Xiao Yang's body. Xiao Yang's flame power is more powerful, and only the legendary holy flame. At the beginning, the members of the Xianling royal family had just come to Zhuangtianshan, trying to go to the north of Zhuangtianshan to fight with those super sects in the mountains with strong emperor energy. In the middle of Xiantian-san, we found the place where our Tianmu fish inhabits. I still clearly remember which strong man of the Xianling royal family was a strong man with the peak strength of Do Di. Ever since he discovered the treasure in the extremely huge underground river of our Tianmu clan, he also called a lot of strong people. So one day when we were resting, we attacked in a big way, thus destroying our Tianmu clan. But at that time, the men and horses summoned by the Xianling royal family also suffered heavy losses. Since then, there has been the power of the Xianling royal family. After they annexed the wealth of our Tianmu clan, their strength and power have also expanded rapidly, and this is the detachment of the Xianling royal family today. However, among the people who were called by the founder of the Xianling royal family, a large part of them had the power of flame, and the power of flame had a fatal suppression on our Tianmu fish family. So we were also defeated. So fast. Xiao Yan also said slowly. The breath of flame. Xiao Yang also muttered to himself. Senior, do you still remember what that flame power is? Xiao Yang also asked. The power of that flame. I remember that I was born with a deep fear, as if my soul could burn. And the power is also extremely terrifying. Xiao Yan also said with an ugly expression. Fear. Xiao Yang was still puzzled. This type of fear can appear as long as the soul power reaches a certain level. But the founder of the Xianling royal family encountered the backlash of the mysterious flame when he attacked our Tianmu fish clan. And according to my feeling, it seems that the flame on the founder of the Xianling royal family is not willingly attached to him, but more like control, because I feel a rather powerful force of resistance. Xiao Yan also said slowly. Backlash. Xiao Yang frowned just now, and the next moment he heard Xiao Yan's words, he was suddenly overjoyed. Because if thousands of years ago, the founder of the Xianling royal family encountered the backlash of the holy flame, then there would definitely be sequelae, and this holy flame was also forcibly absorbed, maybe it was not swallowed. If you forcibly swallow it, you can only rely on powerful strength to suppress the holy flame, just like your ancestor Xiao Xian, with the strength of the peak of the 9-star fighting saint, to forcibly suppress the 3 different flames. However, this kind of suppression also has its limits. Once it cannot be suppressed, the outbreak of the power of holy flame is extremely terrifying. Hee, you kid, don't be too happy too soon. The Golden Dragon King also found Xiao Yang with a happy face, and said indifferently, I know, but Xingyang really seems to be in this mysterious royal family. This is easy to handle. Having a target is always easier than finding a needle in a haystack. The corner of Xiao Yang's mouth also grinned. Fenju in his own body, even now, has only just broken through the immortal rank, and is at the bottom of the immortal rank. If he devours this holy flame, then Xiao Yang also believes that only by virtue of the various advantages of Fenju, among the same rank in invincible hand. Senior, don't worry. We will rescue your daughter. Xiao Yang also slowly touched the dark brown conch, then gently put it away, and said to Yu Xian. Although I don't know if the flame on the founder of the Xianling royal family is the holy flame you mentioned, but I can be sure of one thing tilde in this underground palace, on the last floor. I felt some very familiar smells. That smell has the same effect as the flame power of the founder of the Xianling royal family back then. But I also felt some extremely subtle fluctuations, obviously guarding these extremely precious things. Yu Xian also looked at the endless void after thinking for a while. The 7th floor of the underground palace. Xiao Yang also murmured, but the excitement in his heart could not be concealed no matter what. If this holy flame really exists on the 7th floor of the underground palace of the Xianling royal family, then just wait for the right time. But I have to tell you in advance that the Xianling royal family seems to have a very close cooperation with some forces in the ghost world, and there will definitely be a powerhouse at the level of fighting immortals in the 7th floor of this underground palace. You have to think twice. Yu Xian also seemed to notice the smile on Xiao Yang's face, and said it too. Hee, I will always go to the 7th floor of the underground palace, and fighting immortal. The Golden Dragon King also snorted coldly, and then an extremely huge aura slowly emanated. This volatility. It's actually reached the level of a half-immortal. Yu Xian was also dumbfounded, because the fighting chi triggered by the soul power of the Golden Dragon King alone is terrifying as a half-immortal. If the Golden Dragon King recovered his soul power and possessed if you have a body, then its power will also be more powerful. Cough, cough. Faced with such a terrifying pressure, Xiao Yang suddenly knelt down on both knees. After all, the breath that the Golden Dragon King was exuding at this time had reached the level of a half-step fighting immortal. This is not enough for Xiao Yang now. I've written down your business, don't worry. This king's words are hard to follow. The Golden Dragon King also slowly withdrew his breath and said. Before he finished speaking, the passionate dragon roar echoed in the passage. This is the aura of the king of the dragon clan, the Golden Dragon King. Even Yu Xian recognized the aura of the Golden Dragon King at this time. After all, this dragon clan is a household name in the human world. Just not to mention that their dragon clan has spent a lot of strong people in order to defend against foreign evil clans. This dragon clan can be trusted just a little bit. After all, the dragon clan is an arrogant group that is hard to follow. Hee, the thoughts left by this remnant of my soul are also for these few things. Now that things are understood, it is also a big worry for me. You little guy came here to enter the Xianling Emperor Pond, right? After the Golden Dragon King agreed to Yushi's request, he also stood there quietly, like a standing figure, and Yushi also had no self-control. Instead of disturbing the uninteresting, he turned his attention to Xiao Yang next to him. Junior just wanted to use the formation stone of the predecessor to enter the Xianling Emperor Pond. Xiao Yang did not hesitate and said to the fish, "Now that they have close cooperation, they will not embarrass him if they want to come to this fish show. Otherwise, this fish show alone is comparable to the strength of a human 8-star fighting emperor, and Xiao Yang may only be defeated and run away." The Xianling Emperor Pond. It's really a good thing. However, outsiders only know that this is the Xianling Emperor Pond, but they don't know that this Xianling Emperor Pond was originally a forbidden place for our Qianmu fish family. Slowly, there was regret in his voice. What's going on? Originally, Xiao Yang's heart hadn't calmed down, because of the mother of the fairy body tree and Xingyang, but now hearing Yu Xian's words, his heart was fluctuating violently. Yu Xian's words clearly meant that he knew the Xianling Emperor Pond very well. Because Yu Xian also said that this Xianling Emperor Pond is the forbidden area of their Tianmuyu clan, but it was later changed to Xianling Emperor Pond, after being invaded by the Xianling royal family. Do you know what the Xianling Emperor Pond is? Yu Xian also smiled, and then slowly stared at Xiao Yang. It is said that the Xianling Emperor Pond is a very special river. The water in the river can greatly increase the speed of cultivation, and even has many mysterious effects, but there is no doubt that it can be called a 6-star Do Emperor powerhouse. It's definitely not a nonsense. Xiao Yang also said according to what Zhu Lao and himself had seen and heard. These are certainly true, but they are just the tip of the iceberg of this Xianling Emperor Pond. The real Xianling Emperor Pond actually takes the responsibility of cultivating the younger generation as its own mission. The Xianling Emperor Pond is divided into 2 layers. The first layer is soaking, so as to improve the cultivation speed of practitioners. Although it is very small, it also has its effect. As for the second floor, you can get baptism, so as to condense the prototype of the core. It will pave the way for you to step into the 6-star Do Di strong in the future. Yu Xian laughed. The prototype of Do He. Xiao Yang's lips were also slightly dry. The prototype of the Do Nu means Xiao Yang is also clear about what it means. However, with the Do Nu, it means that he has become a Do Xian level powerhouse, and if the Do Nu prototype is condensed earlier, it will undoubtedly be even bigger. And this Xianling Imperial Pond, even the members of the Xianling Imperial family only know about it, not many. From ancient times to the present, only the Xianling king has entered the second floor of the Xianling Imperial Pond. Yu Xian also said. He smiled slowly. Mysterious Spirit Emperor Pond still has so many fans. Xiao Yang couldn't help but murmured. After all, this Xianling Imperial Pond is controlled by the Xianling Imperial family. Xiao Yang also knows very little about this information. Now it is much more convenient to have the guidance of this Yu Xian. Senior, could it be that there is some secret between the first and second floors of the Xianling Emperor Pond? Otherwise, how could only one person enter for thousands of years? Xiao Yang also found the problem, and asked hurriedly. The predecessor of this Xianling Emperor Pond is a forbidden area for our Tianmu fish clan, so I know about it. I am afraid that no one in this world knows it better than me. Yu Xian also said confidently. The Xianling Emperor Pond is an extremely peculiar space. The flow of time inside is very slow. A month outside is enough to stay in it for a year, but it can't stay there for too long. After all, it will be rejected by the Xianling Emperor Pond. However, between the first and second floors of the Xianling Imperial Pond, ordinary people only know that the first floor of the Xianling Imperial Pond has various benefits, but no one knows the entrance to the second floor. So the rarity and entry conditions of this second floor are quite harsh. Yu Xian also said slowly. Harsh? Xiao Yang's complexion also became ugly. After all, he came to the Xianling Emperor Pond for the mysterious effect on the second floor of the Xianling Emperor Pond, which was enough to pave the way for the 6-star Do Emperor. He, don't worry, you brat. Since I have begged you, Yu reading will naturally help you mercilessly about the secret of the Xianling Emperor Pond. After Yu Xian finished speaking, he also read. Glancing at the Golden Dragon King next to him, he found that the most terrifying powerhouse at this time was also exuding a languid aura, but Yu Xian was not suspicious. After all, this Golden Dragon King had a great reputation. Since he agreed for himself, Yu Xian also felt relieved. Oh? Xiao Yang was also overjoyed when he heard this. Obviously, since this Xianling Emperor Pond is a forbidden place for the Tianmuyu clan, there is no one who knows better than this Yu Xuan. This Xianling Emperor Pond was originally a fairly ordinary river. Later, because a meteorite fell to the bottom, the Xianling Emperor Pond was formed. It's strange to say that the mysterious power scattered by this meteorite slowly dispersed in the river, thus forming the current Xianling Emperor Pond. The mysterious meteorite is located in the core area of the second floor of the Xianling Emperor Pond. And the benefits of cultivating on the second floor of the Xianling Emperor Pond will undoubtedly be even greater. Yu Xian also said slowly. A mysterious meteorite. What is it? It actually exudes enough power to condense the prototype of the Do Nu. Xiao Yang was also shocked, because even Xiao Yang knew the horror of such a thing, so he was right. The Xianling Emperor Pond's interest also grew. That meteorite, even I don't know what it is. However, I have a way for you to get close to the meteorite to find out. Yu Xian also smiled slowly. The meteorite in the depths of the Xianling Emperor Pond, even if it is my strength, can't detect the reason, but I believe that you will find something. Yu Xian also said slowly to Xiao Yang, and then looked at the Golden Dragon King on the side. Mysterious meteorite. The Golden Dragon King also sank slightly, then muttered in his mouth. Then I would like to thank my seniors. Xiao Yang also said respectfully. After all, the Xianling Imperial Pond holds such treasures, and I am afraid that even the Xianling Imperial family does not know. If you can promise my last wish this time, it can be considered that I owe you a favor. As for these little things, it's not worth mentioning. Yu Xian also refused. Obviously, the Golden Dragon King promised to save his daughter. Good thing. So Yu Xian will also try his best to help Xiao Yang. If you want to enter the Xianling Emperor Pond, the first thing you need to do is to get 9 formation stones, so that you can overcome the 9 fish play dragon formation guarding the center of the altar. By activating the 9 fishes playing dragon formation and defeating the silver dragon, you can also enter the Xianling Emperor Pond. But if you want to enter the second floor of the Xianling Emperor Pond, it won't be so easy. You must get the token of my Tianmu fish clan to enter. Yu Xian also said. The token. Xiao Yang heard the words and slowly returned the dark brown conch that had withdrawn the ring. Yes, this is it. This conch is called the Voice of the Sea, and it is a genuine fairy artifact. Yu Xian also said with a slow smile, obviously appreciating the conch in Xiao Yang's hands. Fairy artifact. Xiao Yang's brows were furrowed when he heard the words. Obviously, after receiving this conch, Xiao Yang had felt it. There was no aura in this conch, it was like a normal thing. Who would have thought that this is actually a fairy weapon? Immortal artifacts. Xiao Yang knows the power of immortal artifacts. If a powerhouse of the same level as Xiao Yang owns an immortal artifact, even Xiao Yang will not be able to defeat it. After all, immortal artifact, the key to victory or defeat, can already be determined. Xiao Yang didn't know that the ancient ruler of eternal fire in his hand could be at that level, but there was no doubt that even if the ancient ruler of eternal fire possessed an artifact spirit, it was probably a lot weaker than the real immortal artifact. Ha ha, don't underestimate the voice of the sea, this is a genuine fairy artifact. It's just that it is in a sealed state at this time. When I find my daughter in the future, it will also bloom again. Yu Xian also said slowly. The sealed immortal weapon. Xiao Yan also shook his head. Obviously, he was very jealous of this immortal weapon, but Xiao Yan also firmly believed that the ancient ruler of eternal fire in his hand would become a more powerful weapon than the immortal weapon in time. This time, the 9 fishes playing the dragon formation should have started the 5 fish technique. 5 fish come out together. I am afraid that it is quite difficult for the 6-star Dodi powerhouse to deal with it. But you are different. You have the token of our Tianmu fish family, the voice of the sea. After activating the Wyushi dragon formation, you only need to take out the sound of the sea and sense the guardian silver dragon, and then you can enter the core area of the Xianling Emperor Pond. Yushi also said slowly. Is the Xianling Emperor Pond? I'm here. Xiao Yan kept asking about Yushi with fiery eyes, while his master, the Golden Dragon King, looked around slightly lazily. Why didn't Xiao Yan come out yet? Could something have happened? Mu Yingying also said anxiously. Outside of the silver dragon tray, the 4 figures slowly appeared. Humph! With the strength in the middle stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, to challenge the powerhouse that is comparable to the human 8-star Do Emperor level is nothing more than asking for a dead end. Xiaoshu also snorted coldly and then spoke slowly. You? Mu Yingying was also a little anxious. After all, the 3 of them were all members of the Burning Incense Pavilion, and they were both prosperous. They would never hurt their companions, nor would they leave their companions and run away alone. This is the pavilion training they received on the first day they joined the Fenxiang Pavilion. Don't worry, I can still feel Xiao Yang's breath, he should be fine. Mu Feng also said. Obviously Mu Feng was quite helpless towards this moody Mu Yingying. Forget it, just wait. Let's go first. Da Fatty also said. Just after finishing speaking, Da Fatty and Xiaoshu also exercised their grudges, and poured them towards the golden fish in their hands. With the infusion of vindictive energy in the golden fish between the 2 of them, the golden fish also seemed to be alive, and the fish pupils exuded extremely terrifying fluctuations, and slowly walked away towards the silver dragon. Strange, Xiaoshu and Da Fatang clearly got rid of us from the beginning. If they got there first, why did they take the 1 striped goldfish and the 2nd striped goldfish? With the strength of the 2 of them, it is enough to deal with the 5 striped goldfish. Why? Mu Feng looked at the fish in the hands of these 2 people, and said suspiciously. On the silver dragon tray, there were only 4 fish without pupils, which looked grey, but as Xiaoshu and Da Fatang had the 1st and 2nd patterns of fish pupils in their hands, the golden fish slowly returned. After taking the position, the silver dragon also exudes an extremely terrifying aura. It is comparable to the strength of a human 5-star fighting emperor. The 2 golden fish were swimming constantly, and along with the swimming of the golden fish, traces of golden rays of light were constantly radiating from the fish, and then slowly converged on the silver dragon. Roar! The next moment, an extremely loud dragon roar also echoed in this space. Them actually activated this formation in advance. Damn it! Mu Feng also cursed secretly, and then quickly avoided tilde, hoo. The terrifying coercion also instantly permeated the entire space, and then the silver dragon slowly fell off the tray, and roared towards Xiaoshu and Da Fatang. Looking at the appearance, if you want to enter the Xianling Emperor Pond, it seems that you have to pass the assessment of this silver dragon. A mere beast dares to clamor with my Xianling royal family. Xiaoshu also snorted coldly, and then there seemed to be a strange powder in his hand. As soon as he finished speaking, he threw it towards the silver dragon whistling in front of him. Why does the powder in Xiaoshu's hands have a familiar smell? Mu Yingying also felt the mysterious powder in Xiaoshu's hands in a daze, and the next moment Mu Yingying's beautiful eyes had a layer of rust. A faint grey appeared, and Mu Yingying's body couldn't help being shaken. Be careful, this is some kind of seductive powder. Mu Feng also slowly said to Mu Yingying beside him. Ha ha ha. Silver dragon. Just as Xiaoshu sprinkled the powder, he also found that the surging silver dragon's pupil suddenly turned into a fiery red, and he was immediately overjoyed. Yinlong, kill them. In the next moment, Yinlong also seemed to be controlled by Xiaoshu's mysterious powder, and then fell with Xiaoshu's voice, that Yinlong also transformed the target of attack, facing Mu Ying. The place where Ying and Mu Feng were located viciously attacked away. Damn, they actually did this. Mu Feng also understood at this time why the two chose the weakest one-pattern goldfish and two-pattern goldfish. Because with the strength of their 5-star fighting emperor level, the guardians who deal with the one-pattern goldfish and the two-pattern goldfish will also be defeated very quickly. After defeating, activate the formation method in advance, so as to control the silver dragon through the mysterious powder. Obliterate the people who burned the incense pavilion here. It's a pity that Xiao Yang, who took the first place in the points plundering competition, is not here, otherwise, you can be wiped out in one fell swoop. But it's all right. A person with a mere 4-star Do-D midterm strength won't be able to jump for a long time. After you die, he will go down to accompany you. Ha ha ha. Xiaoshu's roaring laughter also slowly filled the entire space. Damn it. The strength of this silver dragon has actually reached the level of a powerhouse that is comparable to the perfection level of a human 5-star Do-D. Mu Feng also said slowly. The next moment, Mu Feng's pupils also shrank tightly, because he felt the extremely terrifying wave emanating from Yinlong's body. At this time, Mu Feng was already a powerhouse in the late stage of the 4-star Do-D, but even so, just from perception, one could know the horror of this silver dragon. These people are really cunning. Mu Yingying, who was beside her, bit her lip slightly, then stared at the silver dragon who was roaring towards them both in front of her. With Mu Yingying's current eyesight, she also discovered the conspiracy of the embarrassed Xiaoshu too. Hoo ho ho. The loud dragon roar also filled the entire space. Silver dragon. Kill. Xiaoshu's arrogant voice also filled the air. Xiaoshu just finished speaking, the next moment, Yinlong's dragon pupil also emits a coquettish red, and the one-patterned goldfish and two-patterned goldfish are slowly surrounding, and then facing Mu Yingying and Mu Feng. Attack away. Howling with huge and sharp dragon claws, trying to slap the two to death. This volatility. I'm afraid it is at least a blow that is comparable to the perfection level of the 5-star Do Emperor. Mu Feng also pondered a little, then stared at the huge and sharp claws of the silver dragon, and couldn't help speaking. I'll do it. Seeing this, Mu Yingying also smiled slightly. Although this is a silver dragon with a 5-star Do Emperor perfection level in front of her, Mu Yingying also has enough confidence to stand in an invincible position. Be careful. Mu Feng also knew that it would be extremely difficult for him to deal with this silver dragon, so he immediately said, "Yeah." Mu Yingying agreed softly, and then she concentrated on dealing with the silver dragon. When Mu Yingying was slowly concentrating on dealing with the silver dragon, Mu Feng and the siblings were also attracted by him. Within a passage, a man with a heavy ruler walked out slowly, but his eyes also became hot. The person who came was Xiao Yang. Since Yu Xian and his master, the Golden Dragon King, reached a deal, Yu Xian also told Xiao Yang a lot about Xianling Huangkai, and also said a lot about their Tianmuyu clan. Naturally, this matter is also kept in mind. After all, this Yu Xian is the last patriarch of the Tianmuyu clan, and he must know more than Xiao Yang. This is. Xiao Yang had just walked out of the passage, and the goldfish with 9 lines in his hand also slowly exuded a different look. Xiao Yang opened his eyes wide, and then stood at the top of the 9-fish opera dragon formation, and also had a panoramic view of the scene below. This Mu Yingying's strength. I am afraid it is very close to the 5-star Do Emperor. Xiao Yang knew just by looking at the blue flames around Mu Yingying. Moreover, Xiao Yang did not rashly alert this Mu Yingying, because Xiao Yang, with her outstanding soul power, also found that this Mu Yingying seemed to have ulterior motives. She is using battle to force herself to break through the 5-star Do D. No matter when and where, fighting is the best breakthrough and grinding stone. This is what Xiao Yang has long understood. However, with the strength of her vaguely touching the 5-star Do Emperor, she can deal with the 5-star Do Emperor's perfection-level powerhouse. Will it be too reluctant? Xiao Yang also murmured, if something is wrong, he will shoot. Because Xiao Yang also used his soul power to discover that the space here seemed to fluctuate strangely. The next moment, the battle between Mu Yingying and Yinlong also broke out, and a dazzling light erupted at the bottom of the basin. Papapa. The silver dragon came to Mu Yingying in the next moment. Only a few meters away from Mu Yingying, the silver and sharp dragon claws attacked straight away, attacking Mu Yingying's jade neck and go. This seemingly random strike actually contained most of the power of the silver dragon. Because as the silver dragon swung out one claw, the surrounding fluctuations also shook violently. This Yinlong 5-star Do Emperor's perfect level blow, even if I take it, is quite difficult. It seems that this little girl will definitely die. But it's a pity for this figure. Xiao Shou also stared at Mu Yingying with a smirk. Ha ha, isn't it? Mu Yingying also seemed to have noticed Xiao Shou's extremely wretched gaze, and immediately snorted coldly, and then the next moment, Mu Yingying faced the silver dragon's claws. Mu Yingying moved. The azure flames all over her body instantly turned into a suit of azure armor, which surrounded Mu Yingying. The azure blue armor is attached, and Mu Yingying's almost perfect graceful curves are also on display. Immediately afterwards, Mu Yingying's beautiful eyes also turned into azure blue, and an extremely terrifying wave also emanated from her body. Boom boom boom. The silver dragon waved its sharp dragon claws, and the next moment it also attacked Mu Yingying's azure blue armor. After Mu Yingying transformed the azure flames that had permeated her body into azure armor, tilde pupils also turned into azure blue, and then she didn't do anything else, letting the silver dragon and dragon claws be vicious. Attack on his own body. That's. Xiao Yang thought that Mu Yingying was too arrogant at first, but only now did he realize that the terrifying dragon claw was still a meter away when it attacked Mu Yingying. It stopped abruptly. Because an azure blue force collided violently with the silver dragon claws. Flaming helmet. Xiao Yang also said excitedly. This flaming helmet is a rather sophisticated method. After all, only a very few people with special flames can use it. Moreover, he also has a lot of requirements for fire control power. Even the current Xiao Yang does not have absolute certainty about the flame transformation helmet. So seeing this Mu Yingying actually cast it out, she was immediately shocked. And as Mu Yingying's azure flames turned into armor, and her pupils turned into azure blue, a strange aura also permeated out. The breath fluttered, flew out of the 9 fishes playing dragon formation, and flew to the 7th floor of the underground palace. The 7th floor of the underground palace. Endless darkness, accompanied by deadly silence. This breath is. Yingying. Is that you? At the end of the darkness, a figure penetrated by countless jet-black chains also slowly opened its eyes like a sleeping giant dragon. This video will end here.